Hey, welcome. Hi, Savannah. I can see you. Hey, welcome. Good. So I think I'm up and running. This is the first time I'm doing this Sunday live stream. So welcome to my little studio at home and join me for just a little bit of wake up yoga. Thank you so much. And we're just going to kind of get going. So I'm going to shift over to where you can actually see me a little better, a little bit more full. But I just wanted to say hello and see if anyone's there. Yay, yay. You can hear me, yes? I always worry about the audio. All right. So good. Here we've got a little bigger picture. I've got my tea. So if you have some tea, this is some chai with soy. And let's go ahead and just start from seated, nice, easy cross-legged position. Let your shoulders roll back a couple of times. Let your head float up on top of the neck. And just breathe. Take that deep, full breath to expand your chest. Inhale, waking yourself up. And then as you exhale, let it release. Next, inhale, reach the arms out and up. Interlace your fingers, press your palms up towards the ceiling. Take a big stretch. And let's just do a little side stretch. So right hand down and left arm up and over. And come on over to the other side, switch directions. Hoping my audio is working for you here. That's always the thing I'm afraid of, and I'm not seeing bars, so I'm not sure, but you can follow me visually if you can't hear me, and you can't even hear me saying that if you can't hear me. So we're in good shape. I'm gonna take my sweater off just because I want to feel like a little more free to move, but stay cozy if you can, if you need to. And let's go ahead and come to hands and knees for cat-cow stretches because, oh my gosh, cat-cow every day, pretty much. Spread your fingers. Inhale, head and tail, lift, chest and belly, drop. And exhale, let yourself go the other way. Tuck your tail, arch your spine, back and forth. Noticing your shoulder blades as well as your spine, so really letting them move onto your back as you inhale and letting them pull away as you exhale. So definitely there's variations on simple cat-cow. So if you want, you can even like go faster. Like if that feels really good to you to just like speed it up a little bit, you can do that. The other thing is just to move a little more freely. So any way that feels good to kind of move your spine, move through your shoulders, move through your hips, kind of just keeping your hands and knees planted and letting your torso get some movement in it. So whatever feels good here, man, I think that's important. And sometimes it's just very small, very minute, slow movements feel good. But sometimes we're like, I gotta get the sleep out of me. I don't know. You can shift to child's pose if you want to, back and forth a little bit. And then let's just come on up to knees. Take the shoulders back and roll them back a couple of times. I just got to check on this sound here because I'm wondering if this is coming through at all. Let me see. Sound, what you doing? Sound? Okay, I hear it. I think it's on different channels than the ones I can see. Okay, so hopefully we're still going sound. All right, let's take the right leg out to the side. So nice and easy. Toes forward, right hand to your leg, and take your left arm up and over. And breathe. And then releasing that, we gotta just go in the other direction. So take your left hand down and then right arm, start with it just up. Little bit of a turn open and then take it and like rotate your arm in the socket and bring it overhead and create a side stretch now for the right side. Elongate, you can lift your hip if you want to, kind of push up into it. And then finally, let's kind of float this right foot off the floor. So just get some balance going. It's little, but it should be something. Finally, if you do want to, and this is optional, but maybe bend that lifted knee and reach behind you for the foot. Pull the heel away from the hip. And then let that go. Knee to the floor. Reach the arms up, and then just for a moment, let's just drop to child's pose. So sink the hips back to the heels. Let the hands come back by your feet, forehead to your mat. And come on back up. Reach the arms. Hey, let's go the other way. That's sort of how it works, right? So left leg out, take the left hand to the left leg, right arm up and over. Kind of always feels like, oh, I just stretched this side because we mostly focused on the right side on the other leg, but we'll get to the other direction. All right. And then right hand's gonna come down, left arm up and over now. We'll feel this nice stretch. And this isn't necessarily like a strict diagonal like we'd focus on in something like extended side, but let yourself just kind of curve into it. And then floating the left foot off the ground. You could flex into it. Sometimes it's easier. Like if that foot's really slack, the leg's gonna tend to drop down. But if we pick it up and put a little flex, push through the heel, there's a little more lift in the leg. And then maybe bring it behind, grab the foot, find a little bow. It's snowing outside. It's pretty. I guess it is winter in Chicago. It's what we have to expect. Let the knee come down. Inhale, reach the arms up. And let's just go ahead and come to hero pose. So you could sit on your feet or you could sit between the feet. I think either one is okay. And I'm kind of just using this opportunity to grab a sip of my tea. If you can sit between your feet, go ahead and get your sit bones down. And we're going to take it to a twist. So whichever way whichever way you're sitting, you should be able to do this. And you could even sit on a block here, of course. So if a block is available to you, or a big book, or like a folded up towel or blanket, take your left hand to your right knee and turn over your shoulder. This is where I look out the window at the snow coming down. Remind myself, I don't think I have to go outside today, which is nice. If you do, wear a hat if you're in Chicago. Let's switch to the other direction. All right, and then just come on out of the twist and let's hit down dog. We got to get there, right? This is really like one of my favorite poses. I don't know. You probably notice if you take my classes, it comes up a lot. I mean, it's a part of most yoga classes, so it's not news, but I just think it's such a balanced pose. So see if you can find your way in, and you might want to start with just really deeply bent knees and lifted heels. Feel free to do that as much as you need to really get that stretch through the spine. So spread your fingers, push the hands forward and down. This is where sticky yoga mat important, because we want to have some traction. If the hands start to slip, we're gonna try to protect ourselves, right? So we're gonna round forward. But if the hands can really truly engage with the mat, we've got all this space to lift. And then maybe just straighten one leg, drop that heel. Warming up the low body now, because we've done some of the upper body stuff. We did a little low body. And then let's just walk forward to the top of the mat. So as you can tell, if you're joining me for these Sunday live sessions, these are not going to be minimal cues. I know some of you love those classes, and I will keep posting them. Let's go ahead and just dangle here. Grab the elbows, but this is just more of like a yoga and chill, wake up on a Sunday morning. We will do some flow, but it's not going to be like really vigorous or super challenging. And I also think anytime you're practicing, you're at home, you're on your own mat, feel free to modify, to take the practice that you want. Maybe you even do something completely different than what I suggest, but this is your time on your mat and you know that you're going to show up and be present, even if you're doing completely different moves. Release your elbows and bend your knees and roll up to standing, nice and easy, shoulders back and down. I think we all want to have like a nice home yoga practice, but sometimes it's just, we forget, we don't remember to make time, or it just feels like no one notices if we show up or not. So I think let this be your opportunity to say, yeah, I'm going to show up on Sunday mornings. It's not going to be that long. We're not going to spend an hour and a half here or anything like that. Let's just stand on the right foot and take the left knee in. So bring in some balance, like early on. Why not? Maybe roll that foot around, that lifted foot, like move your foot and ankle a little bit. We're going to go into some sun Cs in a minute, which I actually really love because I think they are so, I don't know, soothing in a way where sun A's I think are a little stronger, and I love those too, but sun C's sometimes they feel good. There's a different kind of a flow to it. Let's switch to the other leg. So standing on the left, pull the right knee in, and maybe, point and flex, roll that foot around, that ankle around. And then feet together. So let's go into our first sun A, and we're gonna take this first one really slow with some holds, whereas, as we get flowing, it's one breath per movement. But let's inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over the legs. Now the right foot steps back, and let's lower the right knee, because this is a low lunge. Sometimes these are also, I love low lunges. High lunges, more strength. Low lunges, more stretch. I guess that would be kind of how I would explain it. At least that's how it feels in my body. Reach the arms up, open the heart, and lift as you sink the hips towards the front heel. And this is where we're just spending a couple of extra breaths. If we get into the flow, we really don't hold these lunges. We just land in them and then move on. And then hands to the mat. Left knee is going to join the right. And so if we were doing like a classic sun A, we would try to keep our body really level and lower. With sun Cs, there's kind of a little scoopy thing that we can do. And this, if you've ever been to like a Shivanyanda class, this is what they do a lot. You're going to kind of lift your butt and scoop and see if you can kind of slide through to your cobra pose and then move to downward facing dog. So you can try that, but if you like the lowering better, that's also an option. And let's just hold down dog for another breath or two. Lengthening as you inhale, deepening as you exhale. And then the right foot's going to come forward. So the right foot is the moving foot on the first half. Lower the left knee down, and we'll take a few breaths. So it feels like, well, I'm just on the right, I'm on the right. But we have done now lunges on both sides. And then with the fingertips at the top of the mat, we can step the back foot forward. So just tuck the toes and bring it up. And then we'll reverse swan dive and come on up. And then palms together. So as we do the second half, the left foot leads, but the moves are the same. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, dive down. Let's just try to do this with the breath here. Left foot steps back so you can inhale right into your low lunge. And then you're going to exhale, bringing your right knee back and hands down, heart down, and then that scoop through, cobra pose on an inhale, and down dog, you exhale. So now we want to get that left foot forward so we can get that lunge all on an inhale. And then exhale to standing forward fold. So when we move with the breath, it does move a lot faster, but see if you can find a nice, smooth, rhythmic flow. Coming to center again, let's do the whole thing. Right first and then left. Inhale, exhale, dive down. So feel free to follow your breath. You might not be at my pace, and that's totally fine. Inhale to the lunge. Exhale to the lower. Inhale to the back bend. Exhale, down dog. Right foot comes forward, inhaling to your lunge. Exhaling to a fold. up and palms together. And other half. Follow your breath. Use Ujjayi here. Left leg leads. And forward fold, top of mat. Come on up. And palms together. Let's just step out wide. So setting up for a good Prasarita Padottanasana, set those feet parallel and about a leg length apart. Hands to your hips, long torso, strong legs. Take yourself to this nice fold. Palms come down, head hangs, and shift the weight forward toward the balls of the feet. All right, so take your time coming up. Keep your legs strong and see if you can use your core a little bit to bring your torso back upright. And we're going to turn the right toes open, so aligning your front heel with the back arch. Back toes turn a little forward. Inhale the arms up, and then we're going to just lunge right into Warrior Two here. So bending that right knee over the ankle, look over your right fingertips. This is a big, strong lunge, right? So this is, as opposed to like the low lunges, we are actually doing a lot of strengthening here. The deeper we get into this front knee, the more this quad has to actually work. And this is why, like, yoga is very often considered like resistance exercise in that we're doing body weight. So as we give more weight to a body part than it usually gets in life, that actually can build muscle. I know that when I started yoga, I thought it was all about flexibility, but it can very much be about strength as well. Let's turn the front palm up. We're going to keep the lunge and reverse the warrior, so stretch back. So here we're like strengthening in the low body, but stretching in that upper body. And then let's go ahead and straighten the front leg and just come to a nice triangle pose, Trikonasana. Elongating through the limbs, but also through the sides of the body best you can. And then we're going to come up and stretch back, and then let's move to a standing split. So taking all of your weight to the right foot, you'll probably need to bend the knee to do this. Fingertips to the mat or the ground or a block or a book or, whatever you've got in front of you that you can put your fingers on. Fold your body to the right leg, lift your left leg up. And then we're just going to slide the left foot to join the right at the short end of your mat. So like I'm turned around. It doesn't matter if it's the top of your mat or the back of your mat. Let's take chair pose, Utkatasana. So weight on the heels, bend the knees, sink down, try to find that zigzag. So we do want to engage the core a little bit here. So weight on the heels. If we were to kind of like let the core go, our butt would stick back and our belly would come to rest on our thighs. Like that's not wrong, but we do have that opportunity to tuck the tail and pull the navel in. And this is more aligned with what we're looking for in chair, Utkatasana. From here, let's see if we can sink down for boat pose. Now use your hands if you need to. Depending on the proportions of your body and your joints, you might be able to lower down smoothly, but if not, use your hands, don't fall. And then lift the feet. Come to boat, to Navasana. And then feet come to the floor. Let's go ahead and roll up to standing. And we're gonna step out wide, and we're gonna do the other side, but let's take another prostrita. This one, go ahead and turn the toes out just a little bit, and then take the hands and interlace the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down, and folding the chest. Let your head hang. So you could stay here, like kind of pretty classic prostrita, just the toes are turned out, which is a little different. But the reason why I suggested that is because one of the things, I love to do this just as a general stretch. Now, if you want, you can bend your right knee and sink over to the right and twist your chest open, keeping the shoulder stretch, and then switch to the other direction. So bend that left knee over the left toes and open. I just think this feels really nice. You know, listen to your body if you're like, that doesn't feel nice. Do something that does. Because we do want our practice to feel good. I'm a big advocate of that. Like, we shouldn't suffer through our yoga. It's meant to, yeah, work our body physically and sometimes challenge it, but we also want to have some ease. We want to, you know, leave our practice hopefully feeling better than when we started. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and come on up from whatever stretch you were doing, and let's go to our warrior two on the second side. So turn the left toes open, turn the right toes in a little, reach the arms up, and then turn the palms out and press them down as you lunge. I actually think this is a much more useful direction for warrior two arms than lift your arms up. Because if we lift our arms up, this is sort of psychological, but I actually think it is a little physiological as well. If we lift our arms up, it feels like, oh my gosh, I've got to work with all of this part of me, and it's hard, and they feel really heavy. But if we press down, all of a sudden, it just like this all lets go. And the arms continue to extend and have energy, but there is like a sense of like lowering the shoulders, letting the arms just rest and extend. Check in with your front knee, make sure it's doing what it's meant to do in this pose. And then let's take the reverse warrior. Stretching back, but keep lunging forward, and it should start to feel a little, again, that balance. We don't want it to feel bad, painful. We don't want our legs to be like clenching up, but we do feel some work in this front leg, and we should feel that. And then coming up straight in the front leg, let's move into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Extend, look up, lift and lengthen. If anyone's curious, how long is this class going to be? I'm not sure. So I think less than an hour. But I'll probably, usually when I just sort of do my own practice, it ends up in the 40 to 45 to 50 minute range. So that's sort of my best guess, but it might vary a little bit. Let's go ahead and stretch back. And standing split. And if that loosey-goosey number is not comfortable, then feel free to say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do a half an hour of this practice, and then that's good for me, right? So it is your practice. This is sort of more, let's share a practice, than it is, let's take a class. And then sliding the right foot to join the left, short end of your mat, whether it's the top or the back, and chair pose again, Utkatasana. Lowering down, let's take another boat. And I just happen to be by my tea, so it needs a sip. You don't have to balance and drink if you don't want to. Go ahead, bring your feet to the mat. Let's take a little reverse table here. So hands behind you, plug your shoulders in, press down, lift up, chin in, or that head could go back if it feels good. But if it feels good to let your head go back, like truly drop it all the way back so that that neck's not trying to like hold it up or anything. Sit bones down. Let's come back to our feet for chair pose, Utkatasana. And then we're just gonna stand on the right foot, step the left foot back for warrior one. So back heel down, come on up, root into the outer edge of the back foot. Lunging deeply. Notice that back foot, I tend to roll to my arch. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but if you can work that, lifting the arch and pushing into the outer edge of the back foot while still keeping the hips level, like that can help, like some footwork is sometimes really beneficial, just to build the arch strength, that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and pop onto the ball of the back foot now, and we're gonna take this to a twist with the left arm outside of the right leg. You could do this with the back heel down, but I feel like sometimes it's just a little easier to give yourself permission to let the heel come up. You can tend to twist a little deeper. And then looking to the mat, let's just simply step to plank, and let's hold this plank pose for a few breaths. Reach through the head, strong through the core. If you need to modify plank at any time, you can always have knees on the floor. It's just a little less weight for your core to support. And then if you'd like, let's take a vinyasa. So lower down, maybe modify. I still have a shoulder that's been giving me problems for, I don't know. If anyone in Chicago knows like a really good shoulder specialist who, works for free, let me know. I've tried things, physical therapy and massage, and I don't know. I got a cortisone shot once, that didn't really help. All right, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet forward. Half lift and fold. Let's take chair pose. We're gonna do the other side. So from chair, we're now gonna stand on the left foot and just step that right back. Back heel down, lift the arch. Nice strong warrior one, and just breathe here. Just be in the pose. All right, and then we're gonna twist to the left. So again, go ahead and lift that back heel if it makes it feel more comfortable. And I think it's better to do it intentionally than kind of like inadvertently. The heel sort of lifts, but you're kind of not really on the ball of the foot. Right arm outside of the left leg, and just let the palms press. And then go ahead, turn to your mat. And you can take a vinyasa. If you don't want to, you could just go right to down dog as well. And then from here, let's take the right leg up, open the hip and bend the knee. So point the knee to the sky, drop the heel to the hip. Let your low body twist. Again, find things that feel good, right? Like this, I think, feels good to me, but if it feels really like strained, then just make it simpler. And then we're gonna pull the knee forward for a pigeon stretch. So shin crosses the mat, right knee is gonna be behind the right wrist. Use the left toes to guide the left leg back and on the top of the thigh, and let yourself fold down here. I'm gonna throw in a little twist with this, but this is definitely optional. But if you'd like to, you could reach the right arm out and then slide the left arm underneath that right to bring your head and shoulder to the floor. Now you wanna avoid, normally in pigeon, right, we wanna avoid rocking to the right hip. If we're doing this twist, we actually wanna avoid rocking all the way to the left hip. So try to stay centered with the legs so you're still getting this stretch. But then this right hand, it could either kind of press in front of your face, it could lift up and lean back, or if you want to, you could even rotate the arm, bring it behind you and bind. You're trying to find that right big toe, which is over by your left hip right now. And if you're in your twist, come out of it. Nice and easy. Plant your hands and walk yourself up. And actually, this is a really nice stretch just to move yourself upright with the heart forward. This is actually like if we were doing a yin class, pigeon is swan, and so this is swan. And when you fold, it's actually sleeping swan. So this is like a pose in and of itself to move your chest up and kind of like puff your heart forward. If, however, you want to do the quad stretch, you can bend your left knee and reach behind you for the foot and draw the heel in. I do encourage, though, still keep this lift. So we're not just like leaning way in to get the heel in, but that there is still that sense of being upward. All right, take your time letting that go, and then down dog. Down dog, a good place to shake a leg if you need to. Okay, let's switch. So left leg, up and open and bend the knee. Take as long as you need here. If you're like, no, I want to get out of here, just go to your pigeon. It's okay. I do enjoy this stretch though. Try to keep your shoulders level. And then when you're ready, glide your left knee forward and set yourself up for your pigeon stretch on the second side. Walk your back leg back, and as best you can, extend your foot behind you so that you've got like a long leg. And sometimes it's helpful to look and make sure your foot's not like at some weird angle. Take some tea if you want. Now, when you go to fold, the option for the twist is still there, but I'll talk through it just because sometimes like left, right, which way do I go? Left arm out. Right arm's gonna slide under. And I'm going to completely squash my mic, but we're going to roll or let the right shoulder and ear come down. And then left arm up or behind if you'd like. And if you're in your twist, take your time coming out of it. If you're in just the fold, take one more breath. And then coming up, find your stretch here. So maybe it's just hands on the ground, chest up, or maybe it's bend the knee, find the foot, draw in the heel. So if you are watching this class today and participating with me, feel free to leave comments for me. I will watch over this to see if there are like technical glitches, because like I said, this is the first time I've done a live stream and I'm using slightly different equipment, I guess, software than if I were just recording it and posting it. So I will look at it and try to make corrections, but let me know if you've got any thoughts or if there's anything you notice, or just say hello. That'd be awesome too. And if you're watching this at a later date, just a reminder, this live stream, you can let that foot go, by the way, and step back to down dog. But this live stream is going, I'm going to be trying to do these consistently on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I know that's like going to be 10:30 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. It's going to be like 7:30 a.m. if you're all the way on the West Coast. And if you're not in the US, I don't have all the time zones memorized, but you'll have to do the math. Okay, so take another moment in downward facing dog. And then we're gonna go ahead and walk back to the top of the mat. Let's take a squat. So turn those toes out, sink the hips down, knees over toes. Heels might be lifted. It's okay if they are, for sure, but if you can get them down, go ahead and let them be down. Elbows inside knees. You can press the palms. And then let's drop the sit bones down, and you may need to use your hands here, again, depending on your proportions. See if you can grab the big toes, and so as you're coming into a boat pose, you're just gonna let the legs lift. They might be out, like really deeply bent knees, that's okay, but you might find you can start to straighten the legs. There's gonna have to be a little push-pull, right? So if we just straighten the legs, we're gonna fall backwards. We have to kind of use our hands to pull our chest closer to our legs as the legs lift higher. And if you do roll back, just roll back up again. It's not the end of the world. The mat's right behind you, hopefully. Take your legs out wide. And then soles of the feet come in, heels in, Baddha Konasana. Let yourself lean into it. Release. Let's go ahead and lower down to the mat. I thought about starting on our backs today, but we didn't do it that way. So at some point we will, because sometimes it's like, this is where we begin our day. Let's be honest. But from here, let's go ahead. Let's take just a little bridge, but we're going to actually do a little flow with it. So on an inhale, lift the hips. And then exhale, lower through your spine. So really try to scroll your spine down as opposed to just dropping your hips back to the floor. And then lift your hips, roll up through the spine. And this can be on an inhale. And then as you exhale, let yourself lower. And now if you'd like, you can add in the arms. So inhale, lifting the hips up as the arms reach all the way up and overhead. And then exhale, rolling through the spine as the arms lower down. Follow your breath here. We'll just do a few more. And then once you come down this last time, let's just take the right knee into the chest, hug it in, extend your left leg out, and we'll do a nice easy twist here, or supine twist. Use your left hand on the right knee, drop your knee, turn your head away from your leg, and breathe. And then come back to your back. Let's stay with that same right leg and reach it up into the air. So I know this is gonna be different for everyone. If you can reach behind your thigh, you can reach there. If you can reach behind your calf, you can reach there. Some of you might be able to reach for your foot and gently draw in, but don't force it. And we do generally wanna keep the legs straight, not like locked or hyperextended, but straight. And we're just gonna do a gentle, letting the leg lean towards us for a small hamstring stretch. We do want to feel the stretch, but it should not feel too intense. Keep your head and shoulders on the floor and relaxed. And if that means you need to move your hands to a closer aspect of your leg, that's totally fine. And then let's just switch. So we're gonna take the right leg down and bring the left knee into the chest. Let the right leg straighten out. And then when you're ready, use your right hand to pull that leg across the body. If you've got tea on your mat, make sure you don't spill it. Turn your head back to the left. And go ahead and come out. And let's just gently straighten up the left leg, holding on to any portion of it that is available. I keep looking at my camera here, but I know you guys are up here in this shot. I gotta get used to this. I do love waking up with a yoga practice in the morning though, because I don't know, something about getting your body moving first thing, it just changes your perspective on your day. Like you've got a little energy, you feel like you've already accomplished something, and like, I don't know, just, it feels good. I think there is a little bit of like, you know, the serotonin sort of aspect that we can get out of moving early on that just sort of helps propel us through the day. Let's let that go. And then here's where I'm pretty much gonna leave you. We'll take a minute or so here in Shavasana, but I always wanna allow you to feel like if you need 10 minutes in Shavasana, you can take it. But I'm not gonna spend the full 10 minutes, but let's just take a minute here setting up. So lift your chest and let your shoulder blades kind of come to tuck underneath. Let the arms open out slightly away from the sides with the palms up. Let your legs just relax and make sure the back of your head is like resting comfortably on the mat and that your nose is pointing up. You're not like turned to the side or your chin isn't like tipped all the way upward or anything. And just take a few breaths here to completely let go. Now for me, I know like when I come to the ground here, I'm in an apartment in Chicago. It is winter. It feels a little chilly. So you may need to make an adjustment for yourself so that you feel comfortable and warm. Or you might just say, you know what, I'm gonna let myself feel a little chilly and I'm gonna just take a short time here and let things go. You don't have to spend forever in Shavasana to get the benefits out of it. Really, it's just relaxing and letting go. So let's just try that for just a minute here. And then give permission to stay in relaxation for as long as you like. If you are ready to come up, try to bring yourself up using as little effort as possible, whether that's rocking up simply or rolling to one side to bring yourself back upright to a seated position. And then find your way into the rest of your day. So I'm going to end from here with you. Thank you so much for joining me today, whether you were joining live or whether you were joining afterwards. I hope you enjoyed this little wake-up practice. Thank you so much. And the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. All right. Take care. I'll give the whole spiel. If you enjoyed this practice, please subscribe to my channel. I also have, like 200 videos up that you can practice at any time if you'd like. If you do like this again, give the video a thumbs up and join me again next Sunday. I'm going to try to keep doing this and we'll work out the glitches in time if there were any. I'm sure it was flawless. All right. Thanks so much.